Welcome to the bird show. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, it looks good. We're going to keep on this one. We have 4 lands in the hand. We got a couple different birds that's going to allow us. I'm trying not to laugh every time I talk about birds because there's a lot of birds in here. It's a bird travel deck, but it just makes me laugh. Anyway, we've got a couple birds in the hand. We do have Life Crafter, which is going to allow us to get a little bit of extra value whenever we start casting our creatures. So yeah, I like this hand a lot. Let's go ahead and get down. Definitely want to hold on to one of the fetch lands. Let's go ahead and go for, let's get down Polluted Delta. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We were playing Tatyova, Bird Show. Still not entirely sure what I'm calling it. My thumbnail right now just says birds, lots of birds. So we'll see what we want to go for as far as naming the rest of this. Ooh, drawn to Artificer's Assistant. We have Augury Owl to go for the Scry 3. Let's go ahead and crack Polluted Delta. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go Polluted Delta. Let's get down Tropical Island. And we'll go and go for Augury Owl. Yeah, I think I like going for that. We could go for Artificer's Assistant if we wanted to. Let's go and get Owl down. That way we can get the Scry going. And kind of see, we do have another fetch land in the hand to see if we want to grab something else. Sword of Feast and Famine. I actually like that a lot. And that extra land, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's do this. Let's go for Treetop Sentinel. Put it on top. Let's put the Harbor on top of our library. We'll put Sword of Feast and Famine on top of our library. Right, anything else, we're going to go pass turn to our opponent. But yes, we were playing Tatyova, Bird Show. She likes to go bird watching sometimes. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and you draw a card. Playing against Sigarda, Host of Herons. Flying and hexproof. Let's go and draw into that Sword of Feast and Famine. And let's do this. Let's go and get down Artificer's Assistant. Let's go and get down Reliquary Tower. Let's go and push in for 1. Let our opponent know that we mean business. And then we'll knock him down to 29, get that Augury Owl 29 turn clock established, and we're good to go. Playing against Sigarda, flying hexproof, spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to sacrifice permanents. Opponent's going to go for Kodama's Reach, getting those lands onto the battlefield. Next turn, we're going to be able to get down Life Crafter. We could go for Sword and Feast of Famine if we want to. We're not going to be able to equip just yet with Artificer's Assistant on the battlefield. Whenever we cast a historic spell, that's going to be Tatyova. Let's go and push in with Artificer's Assistant. Now, we do have protection from green, which is going to allow us to push past Sigarda. And at the same time, start attacking our opponent's hand, making them discard a card. We'll get an untapped step from Artificer's Assistant. And then with us having 5 mana on the battlefield, we'll definitely be online for Tatyova. All right, opponent's going to chunk a Heroic Intervention. And then let's go ahead. Do you want to go for Raven Familiar? If we want to dig a little bit deeper into our library, or we simply, yeah, let's go and tap out for Tatyova. Maybe our opponent doesn't have any spot removal, or maybe that's what they end up using next turn. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's get Life Crafter our stack. Let's get the Artificer's Assistant Ghost Hound's going to be on top of our library. It's going to leave that on top. We don't have to pay for green on that one, unfortunately, no. And we'll get down Tatyova. Anything else, we're going to go pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, so if you didn't see the deck tech, what are we doing with this particular deck? We're going Bird Tribal today. Maybe sitting there saying, well, why Tatyova for Bird Tribal? And it's just, I kind of wanted to highlight that how absurd Tatyova is with her card draw ability, is that she kind of makes Bird Tribal work sometimes. So, and plus it was going to be really easy, like super, I mean, you just throw all the Sound the Simic Alarm cards into a Tatyova deck and you have a cohesive deck like that. And so I just kind of want to build something fun. I've been wanting to build a tribal deck for a long time. And then I was just like, well, I could build Tatyova Tribal something. I was like, what can I do? And then I was just like, well, let's look at some bird stuff. We can get some coastal piracy in here, get some really good card draw going everywhere, and that's what we end up going for. All right, let's go and draw into that Ghost Town. Put that on top of our library. And that's actually a really fun card in this deck. I'll explain that in a second. Let's go for Windswept Heath. That way we can get that extra card draw going. In fact, let's go and crack Windswept Heath in response to that. Let's go and grab a Breeding Pool. Not going to pay 2 life on this one. Have that come into play. We're going to draw an additional card. Draw into Aven Smokeweaver. And then draw into River. It's going to allow us to start drawing into a few more cards. Let's do this. Let's go and dump out as much of our birds as possible. That's going to be green and then blue. Do you want to pay green to draw an additional card off this Life Crafter? That's going to put us not getting down Raven Familiar, but we can do it on the back end. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's draw an additional card. I don't mind that. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Draw into an island, okay. Then anything else. All right, let's go and push in on this one. So we're looking at, I guess technically if our opponent wanted to, they could trade with Eidolon of Blossoms and Elvish Mystic on Tatyova. That would probably be okay for us, but at this point we're just going to go for this Sword of Feast and Famine trigger. Get that untapped step. Let's go and go for, that's going to put us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go and go for Raven Familiar. It's going to be tap off 1, 2, 3. Let's go and pay the green on this one. Draw an additional card. Draw the Simic Charm. Okay, there we go. Got some good protection for us. And then look at the top. Ooh, that's exactly Overwhelming Stampede. Let's go and grab that one. Put that into our hand and put the rest on the bottom of our library in any order. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, so I just kind of, I used to like build a lot of tribal decks when I first got into Magic. You know, I built zombie tribal decks. I built Kavu tribal decks. It was just like I went into this really, really big tribal phase when I first got into Magic. And so I haven't built a lot of like a tribal deck in a really long time. And in fact, one of the last tribal decks I built was Omnath Party Bears, and that's, you can tell how long that's been. All right, so we do have Simic Charm coming down. We can't go for that. Yeah, let's go and go for Hexproof on that one. Permanents we control gain Hexproof. We don't really have to worry about a counter spell. It's going to keep Tatyova on the battlefield. We do have Overwhelming Stampede, which is hopefully, we might be able to, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be 5 times 3. That's going to be 15. We're looking at 18. I don't know if we'll have exactly lethal, depending on how our opponent wants to kind of divvy out some of these blocks, but we'll have a pretty good chunk of creatures on the battlefield if we go for Overwhelming Stampede. So what we may end up doing next turn is going for Aven Smokeweaver. We can get that down. That's going to be another flying creature, and that should be more than enough for that Overwhelming Stampede to kind of push past on that one. And if we want to get some extra value, what we can do with Sword of Feast and Famine is we can actually put it onto Tatyova. It's going to allow us to push past our opponent's board state, and once we get that +2/+2 onto Tatyova, it's going to end up being a 5/5, which is going to give everybody +5/+5. So that'll actually be a really good option for us to go for. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and actually I think we might have just enough to go for that next turn. We'll kind of do some combat math and see what's happening. Opponent's going to be swinging in for a 9/9 with Ethereal Armor. Yeah, that's fine. Go for it. It's going to be 9 commander damage. It's going to put us up to 14 total commander damage. But yeah, long story short, got into a lot of tribal decks and just wanted to build a fun tribal deck for Tatyova, and here we are. All right, let's go for the Raven Familiar Echo cost. We're going to describe one. It's going to be Crookclaw Transmuter. Switch target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. Let's go. Do we need that at this point right now? We're going to be able to get it down. Let's go ahead and put that on the bottom for right now. And we don't pay the echo cost. It's going to get rid of one creature on the battlefield. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's go ahead and pay for the echo cost at this point, because I want to make sure we can keep it on. Yeah, we're going to use that ability because we definitely want to make sure we have as many creatures as possible for this Overwhelming Stampede. Let's go and get, we'll get Ghost Town down. We're going to draw into an additional card, draw into Aven. Let's go for Oracle. And then with Sigarda having flying, we have a ton of flyers on the battlefield, so we're not just going to tap out completely on this one. No, we're not going to be able to pay for that one. Let's get down Oracle. We're going to get an additional card draw. Let's go and pay the forest off the top of our library. We're going to be able to draw into that Treetop Sentinel, and then anything else that we need to go for. Let's go and push in with the Artificer's Assistant. And there's only one creature with flying, so we need to leave up just a couple creatures with flying. Let's go and swing in with the Artificer's Assistant, and then we'll swing in with the River. And we'll swing in, because we're going to be able to dump some creatures on the back end. And that protection from green is going to stop us from Sigarda. Yeah, I like that. All right. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Let's go and push in with the crew on this one. I like that. All right. We're going to get some damage in. We're going to have that Artificer's Assistance going to be able to knock that last card out of our opponent's hand and then untap all of our lands. We can get down the Treetop Sentinel, and then that's going to give us some protection from Tatyova. Excuse me, from Sigarda. And then we actually need to leave up Aven. We can, no, we're not going to pay for that one. Get down Treetop Sentinel, and then let's go ahead and go for, it's going to be a 2/3. Let's go for Aven Smokeweaver. That's going to be double blue. And not going to be able to play that, no, we're not going to be able to play that one. Get that down, and then anything else we're going to pass turn to our opponent. There we go. All right, so we'll be online for Overwhelming Stampede next turn. It might have been a little overkill to kind of sequence it that way, but at least we got in for another combat step with Sword of Feast and Famine. It puts our opponent in a spot where they're going to have to be kind of in top deck mode because they only had one card left, and that would have been Idolate Tutor, so they could have grabbed something good that would have stopped us. But pretty much this turn, you know, we shift the Lightning Greaves over onto Tatyova. That's going to give everyone on our crew +5/+5, and we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we're looking at 8 times 5. That's going to be a pretty good chunk of damage over there. So we're looking at about 40 just in the additional bonus swinging across on that one. So we should be in a pretty good spot to close it out. But yeah, I played a lot of tribal decks like Kavu. I'm trying to remember some of the other tribal decks. It was just like, it was almost like it was part of my learning experience with Magic. Like I built my traditional green-black rare deck, and then you know, it's just kind of fun playing tribal decks. It just kind of puts you in this mood. And we'll go ahead and let's put it on the bottom for right now. Ice Feather Aven. And we draw into Yavimaya Coast on top of our library. Let's go ahead and make the land drop for the turn. We're going to be able to draw an additional card, Tireless Tracker. Let's go ahead and get down. Let's get down Island. We'll be able to draw into Crook Crawl Elder. And this is one of the fun birds for the deck. Target creature gains flying until end of turn. If we want to get that down, we definitely could. Let's go and shift the the Sword of Feast and Famine over onto Tatyova. Going to tap out on Yavimaya Coast. And then let's go ahead and go for the Overwhelming Stampede. That's going to be green, green, 1, 2, and then 3, tapping out for that. All right, creatures you control are going to get +X/+X. Oh, look at that, beautiful. Let's go and push in on this one, and that should be, all right, opponent's going to scoop it up. We've got a pretty good chunk of damage coming across. We've got 6 + 6. I think Tatyova's going to be 10. +6, +6, +7, +7, +7. So we've got about 55 points of damage coming across on our opponent's side of the board. They do have a lot of blockers, but thankfully a lot of these birds, you know, there's random birds that have protection. So we have Treetop Sentinel that has protection from green. So it's going to allow us to push past on that one. Even Aven Smokeweaver, even though we're not playing against a red deck, it does have protection from red. But you can see we're getting down something like Overwhelming Stampede. Just having a good value engine like Actually, let me pull that back up. Okay, sorry about that weird edit. Sometimes it shoots it back when I'm not done talking. But you can see we're definitely getting down Tatyova, or just having a commander that cares about drawing a lot of cards. It can really support any sort of game plan that you want to go for. And then when you add in this fact that you're just getting a ton of creatures on the battlefield, and you go for something like Overwhelming Stampede, something that's going to make all of these little creatures that are just simply 1/1s, just huge 6/6s, 10/10s. We have had a coat of arms in here, which always makes for a really fun board state. But yeah, anyway, Tatyova birds. If you enjoyed your trip to the bird show, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.